youngest grandchild. I received my middle name, Keith, from my Grandpa Belleville's middle name. So this is why I was elected to present this speech. In honoring Keith and Ruth Belleville for their length of service to West Highland Baptist Church, I realized that not only am I a part of the Belleville family, but of the great family of God called West Highland Baptist Church. And according to my uncle, not this one, John Belleville, my grandparents started attending West Highland shortly before he was born, around, like what he said, 53 years ago. I would say that's a long time. So their version of attending soon became working on a common goal to build relations with our Savior. They have been very active and have held many roles in the church: Sunday school teachers, deacon, deaconess, various planning committees, and of course, my grandma jamming on the organ. My grandparents were always there to open their home for traveling missionaries, musical teams, and for green card applicants. This taking place in the midst of raising 6 kids and caring for aging parents. Being true to the giving spirit, there is always room in the inn. According to my mom, she sums up my grandparents' faith and devotion with Titus 1:6-9. My mom has always referenced my grandparents as role models when it comes to dedication to one's faith. This dedication is evident in some examples, such as there were no sick days. If one of us was too sick to go to church, then we still had to show reverence to God on Sunday by either watching the service or TV or listening to one on the radio. And all meals were to be blessed before eating, no matter where we were eating. And there were family devotions every night. Out-of-town vacations were always a good way to attend new churches, so we were never not at church, even out of town. And there were always prayers before bed. Many times my mom remembers seeing my grandparents kneeling in prayer at the bed. My Aunt Karen, who also isn't here, would say this is what started and created our walk of faith. Aunt Karen believes that Deuteronomy 11:13-21, focusing on verses 19-21, describes the example of their lives. They lived their lives as a constant, unwavering example of faith, not only in words, but in deeds. As a whole, the Bellevilles' closest friends, childhood memories, and numerous activities are all tied to Westland Highland Baptist Church. Just to touch on a few memories, they all remember the old white wood frame church with the task of herding a small army to church on Sunday. We earned the distinction of often arriving late. Trying to squeeze into the old wood pews or marching down front, the privilege and opportunity of being baptized inside of the church, and having faithful members of the church who helped each of us grow closer in our faith. So many of our family times were front and center at our church. We feel extremely privileged to have been born into such a family. My dad references Matthew 7:24-7:27. Anyone who listens to my teaching and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house with rock. Though the rain comes in torrents and the floodwaters rise and the winds beat against that house, it won't collapse because it is built on bedrock. But anyone who hears my teaching and doesn't obey it is foolish, like a person who would build a house out of sand. When the rains and floods come and the winds beat against that house, it will collapse with a mighty crash. I believe this sums up my grandparents. They were always on solid rock, always putting God first, and always loving thy neighbor like thyself. True Christians through and through. Over past 50 years, I believe they have made fantastic ambassadors for West Highland Baptist Church, and I'm sure they have touched many, many lives. In closing, for the lives that have gone before me, the choices they made, the values they impart, and the dedication to service they have made. To know that one day our family past, our family current, and our family future will be together again in heaven. I cannot think of a greater testimony than that.